So I've been a hiring manager for the past 15 years, and over this time, I've had the pleasure and sometimes displeasure of interviewing hundreds of job applicants. In this video, I'll go over 4 key lessons that you should take to heart when interviewing based on my personal experience over these past years. Trust me, if you follow these tips, you'll be head and shoulders over the crowd. They're based off mistakes I've seen from candidates throughout the years. You'd think that with all the different resources and reference materials out there, job candidates would already know all these things, but they don't. Watch this till the end because I'll share a surprisingly easy thing you can do for your next interview that way too many candidates forget and bomb their interview because of it. The first tip is less of a tip and more of a mindset. Just know that hiring is as much as a pain to the hiring manager as it is to the job applicant. No one really enjoys this process. For each time that you've applied to 50 companies and can't land a single job, odds are I've probably looked at 50 applications for a role and can't find anybody worth interviewing. Worse yet, I probably interviewed dozens of people as well, only for it to be a complete waste of time. The reality is, finding the right person to hire is just as hard as finding the right job. Not only that, but a hiring manager is also juggling a bunch of other responsibilities for the company. Interviewing is not the focus of my day. So if you just take 5 minutes of your time to make the hiring manager's life a little bit easier, you'll immediately stand out from the rest of the crowd. How? Come prepared with the specifics. By specifics, I mean 1. Specifics about the company that truly excite you. Go through the company website, understand what their values are, look up some recent initiatives, speak to the direction that the company is headed and why it aligns with your values. Show me that you've done your homework and that the company isn't just some random thing that you applied to just because you saw the listing on Google or LinkedIn. 2. Specifics about the role that make you a perfect match. You'd be surprised at how many candidates fail to thoroughly read the job requirements. Hiring managers put a lot of time and thought into crafting a job listing, or at least the good ones do. Use it as a starting point. Refer to qualities and responsibilities that are explicitly stated. They're written down for a reason. In fact, I'd go so far as to suggest you have a copy in front of you and read it a few times before the interview so it's fresh in your mind. Take the time to highlight key phrases that you can speak to and mention them in your answers. 3. Specifics about your experience that you're proud of. Give me numbers, figures that demonstrate your capabilities. Be intentional about the experiences that you bring up. Make sure it relates back to a key requirement for the role. Speak to specific strengths or skills that you've polished over the years and how it makes you a better candidate than anyone else. I'm looking for something specific. Be that person, and you really need to practice with this one. You should be comfortable with answering it so that it feels natural and then it won't seem like you're reading off a prompt if it's a video interview. By the way, if you feel like you've gotten value from this video so far, please consider liking and subscribing. We're constantly pushing out new content to help you ace your interview. And make sure to check out tryvoomer.com where you can practice on questions for thousands of different companies and you'll get AI-powered feedback on your answers so you can quickly improve and land that dream job. You don't want to come off too strong. This might sound silly, but listen carefully to what is being asked and speak to the question. Candidates who over-prepare tend to come out swinging, eager to start off the interview with their latest and greatest accomplishment, even when the question didn't really call for it. For example, I might ask you about how you trained someone, and in your excitement, you also mention how you single-handedly increased sales by 40%. While that might be impressive, it has nothing to do with the question being asked. Listen to what is being asked and trust that you'll get a chance to go over some other career highlights later. There's a time and a place for everything, and this is true when answering interview questions as well. Bide your time. It does not do you any favors to give more details or embellish your answers when it's not necessary. Instead, what shows me is that you're a bad listener and can't follow instructions. Be calm and collected when answering. You can show your enthusiasm with the language you use and the specific details that only come with doing your homework on the company and role beforehand. And make sure you're not speaking too fast either. Really bide your time. An interview is usually 30 to 45 minutes long. You'll have plenty of time to show off if you structure your answers and are concise with your details. And please make both our lives easier with the STAR method. It stands for situation, task, action, and result. This video goes over that method and it will help you stay organized and answer all the prompts that were given. Next tip, don't gloss over the opportunity to ask the interviewer questions. A good question from you can move you from the maybe higher to the definitely higher. When an interview is giving you the space to ask a question, you should be ready to ask something that demonstrates your enthusiasm for the job. Ask a specific question about the role or the company that you really want to know. Pretend like it's your first day on the job. What is a piece of information that would really help you perform? A good question here requires you to do a bit of homework beforehand. Try to look into the role and the company online. And if you can, look up your interviewer on LinkedIn. Would they have specific company or industry insights that you find helpful? Is there something about their job that interests you? Ask about the company culture or a recent initiative. Come prepared with a couple of questions that will give me a sense of your thoughtfulness. You'd be surprised at how many of my interviews ends without the candidates asking a single question. Remember, it's an interview, not an interrogation. Asking a smart question at the right time can help turn the interview into more of a conversation. I love nothing more than to feel that I'm having a back and forth conversation with a potential colleague, because ultimately that's exactly what I'm looking for. Finally, something a lot of people miss because they underestimate its impact on my decision is a simple follow-up thank you email or a LinkedIn message. It's an incredibly low effort task on your end, but it has a high impact on mine. An after interview thank you message accomplishes two things for you. One, it helps you stay at the top of my mind. And two, it shows me you really care about the job and are interested. As a hiring manager, I will most likely be interviewing a bunch of different candidates throughout the week, if not multiple interviews a day. You're unlikely to be the last person I interview, so it's really important that you leave a thoughtful thank you message that highlights a couple of key talking points we had during the interview to help me jog my memory. After all, we're all human. And don't worry, I'm not saying to write an essay, but it doesn't hurt to include one or two brief sentences about the interview that help you stand out. If you talked about liking the same sports team, include that. If we talked about how a specific experience you had was really impressive and exactly what I'm looking for, mention it. And at the end of the day, sending a thank you message is something that is more than just a courtesy. It shows that you actually care enough to put the time into crafting a message. This is also a very strong signal towards your interpersonal relationship skills, and that you can be on top of your work communications. And as promised, I'm going to leave you with one thing that you can do on your next interview that way too many candidates forget, and it 100% leaves a terrible impression. They leave their phone on. Please just turn your phone off or at least put it on silent mode. It's incredibly rude, not to mention distracting, to have your phone go off during an interview. It doesn't do you any favors, especially if you're in the middle of answering a question. It's a very simple thing to do, but a lot of people don't think about this or forget to do it. Even if you have your phone on vibrate in your pocket, you might still be caught off guard by a notification and lose your train of thought mid-answer. Honestly, it's better to be safe than sorry, so just turn off your phone and give the hiring manager your undivided attention for the 30 minutes or so it takes to do the interview. Now, beyond all this, the best advice I, or anyone really, can give you is to just practice as much as you can. And the best place to practice is at tryvoomer.com, where you can practice on questions for thousands of different companies and get AI-powered feedback on your answers so you can quickly improve and land that dream job. Let me know if you have any other questions or comments, drop them down below. I usually get back to them within a day. And as always, good luck with your interview. Check out the rest of our channel for more interview tips, including things such as improving your camera and audio setup.